to the way a friend or one friend ya because abranti aso or ye innocent ampa ye no aiding ko a social commentator or ye nurse by profession enti eja ne nim de ne na adwene no emu do papa ma menkin kan messages ni bi wa ha say or say Dr. Ren, you brought my boyfriend. I'm watching you guys all the way in Norway. She said Norway for so ehwe almost say Ivan the boyfriend. Munya botro Ghana for munya botre. A young man makaja was more application a moncho fan famiso and son I am my approval. Anyway, yen share a friend is saying ochibefi. Wa can't send be but any was also say enyo no ne kan. But in Besemi bo audio no one any wasem na uti.
Fundamental human rights have been moved on. Among exercises are right. And the president, the court said, President, Parliament where a castle in Yama Shamrano. Our president, it all got the court to fact upon two. Says those sign it, some rana, who president Chutu. Some Hana Sabaway. It's the one Macatoro. Fundamental human rights have been moved on. Among exercises are right. And the president, the court said, President, Parliament where a castle in Yama Shamrano. Our president, it all got the court to fact upon two. Says those sign it, some rana, who president Chutu. Some Hana Sabaway. It's the one Macatoro.
And they were there to mynewsgh.com say on cancer. Papa ya yetini ni din Michael Ochibefi. We the new job in South constituency one more MP. Our MPP abayinim emu. Wasu on cancer. And so utie audio ya if you know any wasem. Or say I never said the Akuffo Addo will be jailed if he signs anti-LGBT plus law. Ain't you?
Dr. Ren, you see, issues be saying, na said the missy huno no, na different from the way other people huno. And you see, a man for Belgian say, I some trasa keke. And you see, this is somebody who thinks that the average and the ordinary Ghanaian Audi political party, daft. There are some bunch of nicompoos that say they can reason. So when they go to the ground, it's just a matter of spewing any garbage in the name of partisan politics because every MP, whoever, or can't be jatum. And you see, that is the brainer highlighting issues like this. Because other people were talking about it,
Yeah.
Almost more town hall engagement. And for these people went to the ground and told the people, say, he level back. Ye be creating nyuma mo bia nya bia ye E-levy ba say E-levy na we na E-levy was going to solve all our national problems. It became a panacea and now I want the capabilities to solve all the problems, and they were on the grounds misinforming, throwing misinformation out there because they think that the people are incapable to decipher some no more canon as who said no cray woman, I said no cray him, and you could grounds we can spew anything because these people are gullible minds, these people are ignorant, these people cannot reason, these people have this emotional attachment to political parties or to their leaders. So can't say the person is incapable of or reason about making any informed decision and answer informed choices and answer any analogy be out of in some now canon. So Sanyama way and the drive some politicians thinking say the people on the ground are a bunch of idiots into the omopa. Because you see, there is a pressure on the president. Because it doesn't matter where one stands across the political divide as we speak. Majority of Ghanaians are not in for this LGBT whatever. Either NDC, either MPP, whether CPP, whether Muslim, whether Christian, whether traditionalist, across the political divide. So some of these things are very sensitive issues. So we a politician, one handle the kind of political damage ubenyano, to me and quantified. So the president make a decision not to go ahead to sign this particular bill. No? Then these people need to go to the ground and find some justification in attempt. Sebaya sa backlash never bind us. Let us build a wall. Na yen kase president in the Edneko court o sign ya better not and the nipa gullible mind now no form not oh sir and yes say ni say okwaku sign. Then they buy some justification for why the president is not signing some of these things. So deliberate. It's not as if they will name the oil, but you see, highlighted the kind of disrespect, the level of dishonesty. I choke this body politics, in all facets of our national life. And I think that it's quite unfortunate because maybe president or either to sign or maybe express reservations that mean sign. But maybe doesn't actually make sense. And the President Akuffo Addo is bold enough telling Ghana for say in the exercise of his presidential powers, constitution not confer on him, he is scared to exercise those functions because somebody has sent him to court. That means we started here. But I have a certain personal conviction, say, in the discharge of his official duties as president, even parliament, the same thing. In the discharge of those official duties, no court can stop them from doing what they are doing. And this Obakaya, there is this woman called Amanda Odoi.
Yeah.
In the early stages of this LGBT way, the Assembly called Supreme Court said no. So Parliament kase or koso now why yet this LGBT law now infringe on the fundamental human right of some Ghanaians until the court seeking said the Supreme Court should impose an injunction on the whole procedure. Supreme Court can say no. On the face of the matter, no, they can't establish anything substantial. A bit more. I can say Parliament in June, again. Parliament, a Jumana or no, onyan rubia, onyan and they are unable to offer that particular injunction. In the end, the woman withdrew the case. So, Dr. Ren, say Parliament consider Bella. I had a starting, I had a terminating. Omaya approval and we know transmitting the bill to Parliament to the President until say the bill never back. Ama I had a final approval. My man and numbers because when is a number and then I suppose happened in Parliament,
which is important.
Exactly, Parliament in Juma.
Yeah.
So about the same in the course of this particular way, Parliament in Juma no President de say the cocoa and you see as I'm deal to let an order no why there be a Macassa a young crass someone young sign him say let I Richard Sky some not the court no.
Yes.
Or say, so my main kind two of the reliefs and show, or say, Speaker of Parliament and then clerks, or Daumo said they should not transmit the bill to the president. And again, president in the party woman said the president must not assent to the bill. So, if Parliament, Speaker of Parliament decide, they say, or better transmitted bill now, the President name for no, you can't cite them for contempt and not say anything because I want you and receiving that particular way, no, there is nothing in the reliever. Like I said, the president cannot receive. You can receive and decide not to sign. And again, say Speaker, yes, men send it, not so send it, not say, yet you'll be for contempt. And the Speaker of Parliament is for contempt. O President, the whole house saying, on the dinner home, and be lawsuit to say, don't transmit or semi transmit it. Not say, who bear the consequences? Is the Speaker. So how come, and now, wow, what's in Cham Fowl, what I asked Antibody to mutual letters say, cease and desist from transmitting or transmit it, or my banner, or papa on the dinner home, or so transmit it. And again, or transmitting our freezer illegal. Richard Sky not them assembly court no or Ghana or not can file for contempt against the Speaker of Parliament. May I show us what's in Sebnase?
Yeah.
So as Antibadia to the president, the Omoyano is somebody trying to be more Catholic than the Pope. Yes. They are just trying to be more Catholic, but you can't be more Catholic than the Pope. Because Pope, Catholic Church in there, so you can't be more Catholic than the Pope. And that is exactly what the president sought to do in this whole thing. So make us say, I deliberate. he has decided say baby a oman na kwakoshe no ye de ensa kwahye nkrofo bebranum ye de amanfo ka say ye ka say ye go ahead with it the kind of economic impact ebenya if these threatening international community no ka say indeed they are going ahead with those sanctions and then as for normal all kana oman no we can run oman no be jinsabu. So in that particular regard, no, and what decided to go around using some of these things, and you see some of these things are not reasonable because Makasa in the discharge of the president duty, you can't stop him. So Abakaya, 2012 election petition. Abra Amode John Mahama call to send the elections, no, a year illegal, no, and for that matter, no, elections near no. Abra na ye challenge the first legitimacy of that election at the court. John Mahama was still playing his role as president. The Supreme Court couldn't injunct
to stop the activities.
Activities. You can't. Because president, with this executive kind of way, I impose you enormous power until you think say actions now at a certain level be Nemana or our direct consequence and impact to be on the lives of the people. I would go bad now. You can't do that. As the president signed bill Nubier, now free the implementation about cause of public harm, social harm, cultural harm, economic harm, political harm, religious harm, then you can go to court, stick for that injunction, and you impose on it until the issue is resolved. But in the process of president discharging the duty in this particular regard, you can't do that. But President Akuffo Addo say, "Oh, court to say, Mami Nsanyo," but you forget that it's the same president who recently, in the your friend is saying, bill now you come he levy similar situation. Similar situation. It was at the Supreme Court. The president insisted and went ahead and signed. You see, the words and the actions of president are very critical. Oko America, I know professors who delve into speeches, American president, their conduct, they study them as a body of knowledge or more try to build a certain perspective. What take American president first or more. But you have also can you do the same? Because the president is swimming in a pool of some inconsistencies tied to the personal aims and conveniences. And for that matter, then let it go. But you find a way to dive just to create certain convenience for us. So I think President Akuffo Addo should be bold enough and tell Ghanaians, Charlie, Emrano, I'm not going to sign. And these are my reasons. Then Ghanaians will know, so this is your position. But you can't pretend to say you want to sign when in reality you are not ready to sign. And I'm so much disappointed in the civil society organization who are quiet over this particular matter. Because some of them, they do understand and appreciate this whole thing. But suddenly, they've all gone mute. Yabakaya, Mekai, 2016 time, Abrana, John Mahama said, or just get more two video about Kruma says, okay.
Mekaipa.
You see, good.
Rainbow Radio Live 92.4 FM and DAB Plus.
Sorry, Steve Kruma, I can't say. If it's
Wakwaji, a friend is saying, Yanuma Bana, to a bomb, way, not then obey.
Yes. At some point, I can't say exercise compassion, and that compassion must be exercised in tandem with wisdom and common sense.
Yeah.
So we know that our civil society, our clergies are always vocal, but this is an issue asserted right on their laps, because issues of LGBTQ whatever and we're winning across the religious divide. We are front out culturally, we front at it. So this is the time for us to rise above partisan interests, personal kind of way. In our society, we don't want this. And for that matter, because president alone cannot be a hindrance or a stumbling block, about blocking your way out of this whole thing.
And I think
so that is why that pressure must be on him.
And I think I agree with what Honorable Haruna Idrisu Eka. Say Ushe Bema ne Bema da Obano Obanshi mu bill year akoto president anymore. It's a cultural war. And since it's a cultural war, no, the onus lies on us Ghanaians to also protect our culture. Because ya nyane saa no a obedience and you may be share many. Because any yentimi mfa emra enhye UK, America, Germany for concert changing a train. Bema betimi aware more than one wife no, because a krum ha no against the law. Untimi worry more than one. Polygamy is not allowed. Omo culture. Omo hunu say they frown on it. Into being to mean dictate and farm womo. And he said, "Oh, share yankasanoa." President, no, at this particular time, no, he has to define yanya culture, no, to the people. Send a Kenya, a friend is a Uganda. Omotime sinipino. Now on hunu send a stance anything. Because that is what differentiates between a good leader, a great leader, and somebody who is just a manager. A DNA president, Akoton enemy on one side bill, now we make it say, a shep levy the enwa, or the intentem emia cosigning. And that is where a Cecilia, I send a message, Eddie Mama say, away WhatsApp, you say, I say people that feels that they can choose what laws to obey and to apply, can choose to change their mind about laws at any time according to their own needs. It is equivalent of following no laws, and that is anarchy. Or only the hour. And Williams was saying, to some degree, that happens now and has for a long time. It's very, if everyone suddenly decide not to obey and in a year apply the laws, especially President Akuffo Addo, that is very, very dishonest, especially when his own mantra is the battle is still the Lord's. Then what battle, which Lord are we talking about? Is it the Lord of Trumu, or the Lord that says in the Bible that he do not support such act? This truly shows, like what Dr. Ren, you have always been saying, that our president is a man without character. To Asumami.
Yeah, Dr. Ren, you see, the last time I said President Akuffo Addo more and less is behaving like a gangster with a presidential badge. Always pushing his way through. It doesn't matter your fancy baby original situation must always work for him. That is how gangsters behave. But the only difference between him and the average criminal is that
watching a ball. If
exactly. That is the difference between him and an average criminal. Because I don't know, he has certain powers. I grew up watching a ball. That is the way he's behaving. Because you need what sets a leader apart from a population is somebody with a strong conviction. As a leader, you must never be at the crossroad. Yes, on the moral lines, you may be at the crossroad. But aside that, and not crying, sometimes public good must override your personal whatever. As a leader, you must have strong conviction about every situation. And baby must always tilt towards public good, public interest, where majority of the people stands. Because democracy is about majority, it's a majority rule. Whichever way you, and then I infuse certain element of legalities and whole lot of stuff into politics and leadership and so forth. But democracy in its core, we know, has to do with what majority of the people want. And if majority of Ghanaians have asserted that LGBTQ and so forth, we don't want it culturally, socially, politically, religiously, we don't want it. One person cannot be toying around the issue in the name of being president, because you are there representing the interests of the people. So you must do what the people want unless you are able to prove sufficiently that what the people are asking are inimical to their own welfare, because the people are ignorant. And for that matter, you have the duty as a president maybe to explain to the people and you build the way forward. But that's not the situation. The president now has any conviction about this whole thing. Only position say LGBT, he's against it. And all the way a man or the name man. It doesn't look like it's somebody who is for this whole thing. Because Obakaya, his earlier interview with either BBC or Al Jazeera when he was questioned about this whole thing, he actually showed the way by telling people, say, we live in a global environment where there is a clash between culture A and culture B, and that overriding environment, anything is possible. A time will come where some of these people will come, put pressure, and you can't do anything. And at that point, it's bound to happen. After that interview, a man for shots, is so cool with this particular pressure, and now here we are. Then Ghanaians want a definitive stop and a solution to this problem. Then you resort to this kind of legal gymnastics in this kind of way in an attempt not to do what the people want you to do. Then at the end of the day, you're not the president. When there is a precedent that in the past, amidst, despite the fact it says similar issue was in court, you went ahead and signed. And such instances, and we've had a lot of them in the past. Obakaya, Electoral Commission did the same thing. Abra issue call to political parties. I can't say Electoral Commission cannot do registration at the district level. As some no, you say date when the Electoral Commission went ahead and did whatever they are doing. So the mere fact will be a couple seeking an injunction, and stop you from exercising your constitutional mandate, especially when that mandate, emanated directly from the Constitution without any ambiguity. You can go ahead and do it because there are certain functions that one year ever cause a lot of damage to the public. Is the reason why in the wisdom of our constitutional framework, yes, MP and I'm quite so called parliament to in a Duma. We are police in a and fan court. No, correct. First, and on the transit, number general, I say when I say it's a moon identity. But you see, who peep into the minds of constitutional framework as to why they did that. Then you come to the realization, say, seeking to protect the sacred nature of the things they do within the house. Because these are representatives who have been brought into parliament to represent the entire country. At that point, MP, he's not serving himself.
He's serving the constituency,
Exactly. And on his way to serve majority of the people sitting in the constituency, you can't stop him. Let him go and do whatever he's doing. Oh, yeah. The upper be able to match it in a quack, Because at that point in the state didn't interest our personal life in him, but on his way, what he's going to do there, it's not about him. It is about the whole constituency. So that tells you the sacred nature of what we do. So you cannot bring an injunction from somewhere and say, my injunction parliament say, your friend is saying, Bill we or to me yet. You can't do that.
But then somebody will also say, okay, why are we blaming the president? If the president and sign Kranwa per a year the constitution under Article 93, a year section 2, a man who quite said Sebiu, the bill never go back to parliament. Near you sue a year the 2/3 of the parliamentarians to vote bill into law. Into the president and sign, then clearly we know say okay, president after all, na ebia on sign, ebia no based on his own human right, because ebia making a year the bill passing it into law to make it to criminalize people ebe engaging in such act, ebia because of the human right background into on person sign. Then it can also go back to parliament. Now parliament and so it me abomodia you the 2/3 votes na woma side, so which means that they will need more than only the NDC na MPP for us to be able to come no more to me. Do you see it happening?
You see, the approach now on a deviation from the constitutional prescription. Because I offer chapter 10 of our constitution, Article 1 says that also now. You see, and I'm like I said, our constitutional frameworks are wise. They envisaged these possibilities and created a window. You see, we are president. Now the bill number 2 anymore. In the wisdom of our constitutional frameworks, whoever becomes president and yes, zombie said, they are there for parliament. You exercise no discretion. Now sign. No. Almost say when it comes, sign. But if you have reservations,
let it be known.
State it in a memorandum.
Yes. And
then state the provisions are all issues with. State them categorically.
So that argument of Mebao, so that argument of say Okoti about constitution, so that argument of say Parliament betimi go ahead to sign the bill, no. The president still have to let his reason be known in an amendment, so that in a form of, right word, memorandum for us to add it to the particular bill and say come back to Parliament.
Exactly. So the reservations of the president will be stated.
As to why
exactly we don't
want to sign.
Then Parliament will have to sit again and discuss the concerns raised by the president and address them in the new bill, by amending the bill, to suit the recommendations by the president.
Good.
And then certain approval again will happen. Then when it comes back to the president, then the law says that the president shall.
Yes, mandate.
Exactly. So you see, say according that way now, a short, because he will state his reservations, he'll go back to Parliament, and Parliament will quickly do the amendment. It will come back and he will be forced to sign. So he decided to take a detour on Konasa, because within a month, this whole cycle may be completed. And they have decided to use this interlocking legal approach just to create a certain confusion. So there is no way out, because until the Supreme Court, and you see, it's unfortunate that your judicial system, the confidence and the trust are Ghana for women, you see, Dr. Ren, Supreme Court may have a lot of justification as to why I'm afraid that Fiamako case, ahead of the last guy issue, because Oko Quarter. And yes, when a buy and yes, maybe it's about the primacy or the kind of priority. The mother particular issue. No, Bob Brennan, the Gina BSA, sit here and they determine, and the Chief Justice our discretion. But you see, Makase, judicial system operate in a constitutional environment. So you need to communicate to people for people to have a certain appreciation. Because you can do your judiciary in an environment of